This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Hey, friend, I know how it feels, waking up exhausted after multiple trips to the bathroom and feeling embarrassed by sudden leaks. I used to be constantly on edge, searching for a restroom whenever I was out. Then I discovered Better Woman. I was skeptical at first, but 2 months in, everything changed. I experienced improved bladder control, no more heart-stopping moments when I laugh or sneeze, less urge to go, deeper and more restful sleep. I finally felt like myself again, confident and in control. Better Woman is natural, effective, and trusted by women for over 25 years. Ready to take back your control? Head over to BeBetterNow.com to order your supply today. That's BeBetterNow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Uses directed, individual results may vary.
Hynes, Billy G, St. Paul, and here they are.
Everybody that's involved, even thanks to you guys, the media, for giving us the coverage that we need. And I'm serious. It's a big part of what goes on in the relationships between, you get to talk to this guy every night, but good relationships with our media is really important. We feel that we get treated fairly, and we do appreciate you. And thanks to Craig Leopold, our owner, and he gives us all the resources to do what we need to do. There's very, very rarely a no. I can't remember one, so it's great to have that support. And then our players, coaches, and staff. For me, this year, this was a year of incredible ups and downs. The start of our year, I would say the first, 30, 40 games, was excellent. Our start, we were a top 5, top 10 team at the worst for most of that segment of the season. Then we had to start dealing with a ton of adversity. The injuries were, hugely impactful. But, listen, I'm very proud of the players. I'm very proud of our coaches for dealing with the adversity the right way, for not letting the train get off the tracks and finding a way into the playoffs. That says a lot about the group, because the injuries were to significant players for a significant amount of time. And usually when you have that, things tend to fall apart, but they didn't. And we made the playoffs, which is great. It's better than not making it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not satisfied with the result. but I'm not disappointed in our players or our coaches. I thought they played incredibly well. They played hard. They did the right things. It just wasn't in the cards. But, now moving forward, since I've been here, I believe this today and moving forward, this is without a doubt the best position that this team has been in, or this organization. We're going to have more flexibility than we've ever had here, in my tenure anyways. We have some young players that are going to come up and make an impact. And, guys like Buyam, Juracek, Ogren, Urov, Wallstead, we've got guys pushing. That's just to name a few. But we're going to add. We're going to try to make this team better. Like I said, this is the first time that we've had real flexibility in a long, long time. and we're going to do our best to add to this team and to make it better and to keep building a championship caliber team for this market and our fans. So thanks for listening.
Bill, what did you think was the difference in the series between the two teams to ultimately decide it?
You talking about like specific plays or like I honestly the timing of the the game 4 overtime goal and the offsides were just impactful plays, and then just not being able to get one of the overtimes, and I think when we were up 2-1 and not being able to get it to 3-1, but even so, like we were never out of a game. Like the only games that weren't 1-goal games were the ones that we won. I know the first game there was an empty netter, so I know you'll nitpick me on that, but in essence, it's a 1-goal game. So, John and I have talked at length about this, and there really isn't like a lot that we could say like we did poorly. I thought we played really well. We had a chance, and I think I know you guys listen to the players' comments. This year was different. There was more of a belief that we should win the series. We just didn't.
Bill, first of all, any changes with staff on either Iowa or Minnesota?
No.
Okay. You mentioned the impactful injuries, which is fair. And we've talked a lot about how a lot of these are broken bones, slew foots, like things you can't do about, shots in the groin.
Yeah.
But, this is 2 years in a row. I mean, how much will you delve into, what's causing at least some of the stuff with like Kirill and Eki and Broads and these guys? Like, is there a way to figure out a way to look at what's maybe causing some of it?
Not really. I don't think so, Mike, honestly. Like, and I know people say that, they're injured. All right, well, then, maybe we'll have the guys stop blocking shots or training as hard as they do. Or, I don't know. Like, I just think it's been bad luck. This is a hard, fast game. You get injured. I think it's more impactful, though, because we haven't had the depth that hopefully we're going to create here coming up. Like when Eki gets hurt or Kirill gets hurt, it's more impactful because there's not another wave of those guys coming. You know what I mean? We couldn't deflect it. It's more important because we didn't have a ton of those guys. So yeah, but I just look. We got great doctors. We got a great training staff. They take care of the players incredibly well. You just can't uninjure guys. And when you talk about like core injuries or freaky ones like Zuki had, like what are you going to do? We'll get Zuki a bigger cup.
Going back to the playoff series itself, Bill, I know it's hard to say that there was a step forward maybe being made when you're still not getting out of the first round, but it did have kind of that very different feeling than years past. Is that fair to say, or how would you kind of assess that, where it did seem that things were just very different for them this round?
Yeah, I don't think we got outplayed. They got the 2 OT goals. And then, but like if you guys can think of a game where we got outplayed, let me know. I don't think we did. It's just we didn't get the timely goals. Well, we did, but it was offsides. So that was a tough situation. But I don't feel like we got outplayed, and I think that's the big difference. I think in some of the playoff series before, we may have been overmatched. Like we just maybe got outplayed and beat. But this one, I didn't feel like we got outplayed. We just didn't score, opportune goals.
Bill, you mentioned the flexibility you'll have this summer and wanting to add. What kind of players or skill sets do you want to add, and kind of what's the balance of usually people overpay on July 1 just because of the nature of it? What's the balance being aggressive versus being smart in those kind of situations?
Yeah, July 1 can be a day of mistakes too. We don't want to do that, but we also don't want to miss out on opportunities to make our team better. I think our D-core set. I'd like to focus on forwards. You talking about what type of players? I mean,
like a scoring winger or this kind of thing, or
no, probably more at center position. I think Eki needs a little help. He's in a battle every single night, and there's no easy nights for him. So I think if we could create some help there, I wouldn't be opposed to a scoring winger either. But we're going to have to look and see who's available, when it comes to free agency. And then, there's always possibilities of trades too. So, we're going to explore all that stuff.
Does anyone besides Eriksson Ek need surgery, or just where are you at health-wise with players?
No. Right now, we thought Brodin might have, but he's doing better. He's actually going to play in the Worlds. All his things have been he's fine. And then Gus, we're still kind of looking into him, but I don't know if he's really going to actually need it.
Gustafson.
Yeah, Gustafson. Yeah, sorry.
What is the full list of Worlds participants?
We have Brodin, Johansson, Fleury, Spurgeon. I think that's it.
Bouillon.
Oh, yeah, Bouillon. And Spacho, yeah.
Bill, just what are your expectations with Kirill this summer and where you're at in that process and getting him re-signed?
My expectations are to get him signed. That's it.
As far as what that process will look like, how difficult, or July 1, it's signed, sealed to look like?
Yeah, I'd like to get it done as soon as I can. Yeah, and it's obviously everybody knows how important Kirill is to the team and to the organization, to the market. He's a star player. So yeah, that's priority number one.
Bill and John, Marco was a huge talker during the playoffs. He played 75, 76 games in the top six, and then suddenly, late in game one, he's on the fourth line. And then you had the complication of his free agency status this offseason. So where are you at with him?
Where's the complication in that?
Well, whether or not you're going to want to sign him long-term or mid-term, whether or not he's going to want to re-sign long-term, mid-term.
It's not complicated.
Okay. So what? I guess what happened with Marco? How did it get to this point where he was the third lowest ice time in the playoffs?
Well, I think Hartsey played really well and was I think more than you look at it as. I'm not just saying you. A lot of people look at it as like a demotion. Ryan Hartman played really well. Ryan Hartman had a great series. He was elevated. Then what do you do? We try to find the best line combos that we possibly can. You know what? You take a 60-point guy, you put him with two big guys that are playing really well, and we had a good line. They had, what do we say? Trenny had couple points. Raz had a couple. Marco had 2 goals. He scored 2 goals on that line. So we're just trying to find the best combos for that night. We don't feel like Marco played poorly. Hartsey played really well and moved up the lineup, and that was the best possible combo that we thought Marco would be in, and he played well. He produced.
I guess along those lines, John, Marco said he had a good and honest meeting with you, an exit meeting. What was your message to him, and is there kind of a path forward in your mind in terms of him earning the trust from you guys, the staff, of getting back to the role he's accustomed or wants to play?
Yeah, I think it's like every player, you have an honest conversation about whatever decisions you make, whatever they feel. I think whether it's an individual meeting in season or it's an exit meeting at the end of the year, I find a lot of value in those. I think there's we have relationships with I believe with our staff and the players that we can have honest conversations about how each player feels. Obviously for Marco, he was a little bit disappointed, that he didn't get as much ice time as he got in the regular season. But, as far as a trust factor, like we played him a lot and trusted him a lot in the regular season. And it wasn't a situation where he came out of the lineup. I think, as Billy said, a playoff series is short. And sometimes it's matchups. Sometimes it's how other guys are going. Sometimes it's combos. I think there was a lot made out of it, understandably so, because he, played top 6 minutes for majority of the season. Yet, in the series of short games, we made some decisions where he wasn't in that role. But that doesn't mean that we don't like him as a player. It doesn't mean that he didn't contribute to our team. I think after we made the decision, I think I said with you guys, I believe Marco's going to make a difference in the series, regardless of what line he's on. And he did. So, to me, it's understanding each other's side, understanding the player side for sure. He's not going to be, overly excited that his minutes dropped, but also having a conversation of why, what we did, and not that we didn't have that during the series as well. So I don't think it's in a huge issue. With us, we have honest conversations, and we had it. We're in a good spot. He understands. I understand where he's coming, how he felt, and now you just move on. But it's not a situation where we don't trust him or we don't like him. I mean, I think if you look at how much I played him and relied on him and have a relationship with him and put him in situations to succeed as well, some of it does come down to performance. Particularly in a game, in a playoff series. Other guys' performance, as Billy said, and then you also look, okay, if he's not going to play in this role, well, who would he play with, best? What would give him the best opportunity? And in this particular series, Trenton and Braz were bigger bodies. They were physical. They were spending some time in the offensive zone when they played. And I think I said during the series, maybe add some scoring to the line, and lo and behold, they produced.
And this would be for either of you, but in particular to Yakov and Braz, it was very evident that they were those playoff-type players that you had envisioned. How do you get Yakov maybe to have that more consistently throughout the season? I felt like in the playoffs it was this whole other level, and it was incredible to see, but it didn't maybe see that quite as often during the regular season.
Yeah, I think, and speaking from experience, it's hard sometimes when you come in on a big contract into a new team and you want to earn your money and you want to produce and do all these things, and you can get away from your game. Like I said, because he wants to please, he wants to earn, show everybody that he's worth it, and sometimes you just get away from your game, and I think and then when you get away from your game, it's kind of a snowball effect. It's tough to get it back, but I think he got it back at the right time because he was great for us in the playoffs. That's exactly what we need from him. He played fast. He was hard on the puck. He was physical. He made the skill play when he had the opportunity. So I think as we go along, he'll get more comfortable in what his expectations are and what we really truly need from him. And it is exactly what you said, like how he played in the playoffs. I mean, Hynes knows him best too. So
yeah, I agree with what Billy said. I mean, we've talked about it through the year, and there was I think an adjustment period for him, and but the style of player, I would say, down the stretch and into the playoffs is the guy that we need, because he brings certain elements, to a team that are effective. It's just trying to help him and make sure we're on the same page starting in training camp and then going into next year that's more consistent.
So Billy, back to Marco, where do you see this heading this offseason? I mean, you say that you want to upgrade the center position, whether it's free agency or trade. You have Urov coming. There seems to only be so many slots for him. I mean, could you foresee moving him in a month or so?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, look, there's there's contract talks or there's player movement for not just for Marco, for anybody. So I can't really, I'm not going to try to predict the future and tell you, I see this or I see that. I'm going to have to go through the process and find out where it goes.
Do you see yourself bringing back any of the UFAs?
Possibly. Yeah. Yep.
Bill, when we talked to Craig Leopold in the preseason, he talked about Kirill a little bit and said, he made this vow, he said, nobody's going to offer Kirill more money or more time, more years than we will. Have you had those conversations with ownership, and does that maybe put a little more pressure on you that there's this vow that you won't get outspent on him?
No, I don't feel pressure of that. Nobody can offer him more than we can. So it's, what Craig said is right. It's true. I'll just say that I'm very confident that we're going to get a deal done with Kirill. I think he really loves this market and this team. I think he feels that we're going in the right direction. He's got a good relationship with John. He's got a good relationship with me. And it's just a matter of working through it.
Billy, you obviously gave up a lot for Juracek. How much do you have to find him a spot on the team next year? I mean, obviously he's got to earn it. But
Yeah.
At some point, I'm sure you want to see him on this team.
Yeah,
And
we
how
want
do
to see
and
him
how do
on
you
this
create
team,
that?
and he will create it, not me. I mean, yes, we'll have a spot, but how much he plays, or where he plays, or how high up the lineup he plays, situations, that's up to him. He's got to earn it. So, but we believe in him. Like he had a crazy year, but his attitude has been amazing. He's got a strong personality. He believes in himself. Like I said, we believe in him, and we're just looking forward to him getting healthy and getting back on track. I think he's going to spend some time here in this summer, which is fantastic because we've gotten good results when players do that. So we're excited that he's going to make that sacrifice.
Bill, just to circle back on Worlds real quick, are you going? And I'm just wondering from like a Team USA standpoint, how much value you put in guys' performances of the tournament, and kind of with an eye toward Olympics.
I am going. I put a big emphasis on it. It's not necessarily how many goals you score or this or that or whatever. It's when are we going to win that tournament? We need to win that tournament soon. We need our best players going. Sidney Crosby and McKinnon are going. That should say something. Okay? It's the commitment from our players to go and try to win that tournament. Our team's good this year. We have a lot of good players that have gone. But it's not, and I hope it's not just because it's an Olympic year. I get it, that it is an Olympic year and it's more of a draw, but we need this more consistently from our players to go over and play and try to win that tournament.
Bill, I know this time last year we talked a little bit about Iowa. How would you kind of evaluate, Brett in the development program right now, and how important is winning to development? I know there's a lot.
I think it's important, and you know what, Brett. But it is a development league, and with that being said, it's not just a development league for players. I think Brett's a young coach. He's still got a ton to learn. He's going through the process right now. We'd like to see them have a better year next year. But, it's always better to develop through winning. And it's tough. It's a good league. And with all the injuries that we had, we take their players. So it's a bit of a trickle-down effect, and that makes it really hard on those guys. Not just taking the players that we take, but it's hard to have the consistency. Like when you have all these moving parts coming in and out. I mean, he knows better than anybody. When we work together in Wilkes-Barre, you go through the same thing, and it's hard.
Bill, could you see yourself starting a negotiation with Gustafson this summer, or would you rather get through the season?
Yeah, I could see it.
And you mentioned Europe.
I don't rule anything out. It's not that I'm not trying to just give you a stupid answer. I just, yeah, definitely could.
In Europe, you expect him on the roster for next season, you said?
Yeah, I do.
And the type of player and impact he could.
Yeah, I think he can have a big impact on us.
John, just Ogren, what did you see in the bits and pieces from the season, and did you see, that he could be an everyday player next season?
Last one.
I thought Ogie had a good season in multiple ways. He came over and had a good training camp. Obviously, made the team out of camp. You can see his speed and his ability to compete. I think early in the year, in his first couple stints with us, he looked like a young guy. That had some serious NHL potential. But then he went down to Iowa and played well. Then every time he came back up with us, there was just more maturity to his game. I think that he could utilize his skating, his shot. You could see that at times here. I thought the attention to detail and the ability to play within structure, but also use your instincts, was better and better every time he was with us. There were times later in the year that we all talked, like maybe we should look at him more because his game is progressing. But we felt like if he wasn't ready for a top 6 role in the NHL, and to try to let him marinate a little bit more, in Iowa and play a big role, play big minutes, continue to get experience, continue to play it, over here in North America. And I thought he progressed in a right way. Now I think there's more maturity to him. He has a little bit more skin too, like he's been called up, sent down. He went through the process that most young players have to go through, handle it the right way every time, developed his game. So, he's a guy that we're expecting to come back, in next fall and push.
Hynesy with Bill Guerin, the coach and the general manager. Now, off that press conference, the state of hockey meets the state of talkie, as in talkbacks. Free iHeartRadio app on the microphone, up to 30 seconds to opine. Talkbacks off that press conference. Some of the suggestions would include, but are not limited to, your confidence in the squad moving forward. Think about it. The Timberwolves are potentially sitting on something big this year. The Vikings won 14 last year. They have a first-round quarterback that they love. How close is the Minnesota Wild to at least the Western Conference Finals? And we know they haven't won a playoff series in 10 years. But off what you heard with that press conference, including July 1st, the Parise Suter buyout money, $15 million. I mean, it sounds like that cash is dwindling relatively soon, kind of like what Double B said last week. Favors money goes into play. And Bill Guerin provided the A topic, saying, we feel very good. Kirill Kaprizov will be re-signed this summer. So the state of hockey meets the state of talkbacks off of what you just heard on that press conference. Wild fans, get on in here, free iHeartRadio app with that microphone in 30 seconds. And we'll do that in a couple of truncated final segments this Talker Tuesday, 9 to noon. Here comes Double B. He's got some money to give away.
The Fan and BigDeck.com will give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Head to KFAN.com, enter the keyword green in honor of your Minnesota Wild. The keyword green, KFAN.com.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Talkspace, the leading virtual therapy provider, is telling everyone, let's face it in therapy. By talking or texting with a supportive, licensed therapist at Talkspace, you can face whatever is holding you back, whether it's mental health symptoms, relationship drama, past trauma, bad habits, or another challenge that you need support to work through. It's easy to sign up. Just go to Talkspace.com and you'll be paired with a provider, typically within 48 hours. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule. Plus, Talkspace is in-network with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. Make your mental health a priority and start today. If you're not covered by insurance, get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80. That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80.
Keyword GREEN. If you want to chime in what's happening in your favorite KFAN shows, you can make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. So let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That is 64686. Enter text message and data reply.
Talkback Central. Billy Guerin, he thanked the media, always wise with Russo Radio in the crowd. Big time injuries for long periods of time, fair. He said this is the most flexibility he has had running the team since he's been here, and that the team is going to add. Joe Smith from The Athletic asked him, like, what type of player are you interested in? July 1st, the key date for everything to begin. Bill said the D-Corps is set. Focus on forwards and more centermen. A scoring winger sounds like something in which he's interested, and there could be trades. And when it comes to trades, Russo Radio, Russo Radio triggers, and he does so fairly, representing the fans because those are the ones who read the stories. And the strength conditioning staff and the trainer caught a stray early when Russo Radio peppered Guerin with just what's happening with all these injuries, and do you need to delve into it more deeply? And Bill said no. It seems to be bad fortune that's transpiring more so than an internal problem. Billy G also shared that they didn't get outplayed versus the Las Vegas Golden Knights. I would have a tendency to agree with that. And so on. So talkbacks. Any talkbacks over there? What's going on?
We got a handful of talkbacks.
Cool.
Some positively reacting, some negatively reacting. We'll start right here.
Christopher St. Paul here, saying regarding confidence in the Wild reaching the semifinals. Semifinals? We're talking semifinals? So it all goes back to the answer he gave about the tournament coming up this summer, and that it's not about how many goals you score. Preposterous statement, 11:28 a.m. Mark it down.
Loserville sounds better in FM.
Thank you, Christopher. Anything off that talkback? I don't really have anything.
I mean, I agree in a sense that more goals. I mean, Guerin said, and we just didn't get the timely goals when we needed it. I would argue that's because the depth scoring needs to be there, and if one line's not going, there needs to be another. I've got a list of like 6 or 7 things that I love from this presser, so I don't want to be captain negative, but in that, instance, I would agree, yes.
Right, next.
Thanks for the opportunity to comment. From Woodbury, I'm very concerned that Hynes and the coaching staff in St. Paul and the coaching staff in Iowa don't know how to develop young players. Our future is all about the development of young players. I'm very concerned about our ability to win the Western Conference.
Wow, Woodbury, hard to the hole.
Loserville sounds better in FM.
Hynes catching strays, and what's the Iowa coach's name? Brett
McLean.
Yep, thank you. And Guerin later in the press conference said that situation has to be better. So you can tie those together. That was a very terse talkback. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and so I mean, it's been a problem where you got to give the guys the opportunity, and that was something they mentioned with Juracek. How Russo said, "How are you going to open a spot for him?" And Guerin essentially said, "I'm not. He's going to have to earn it." And I think that's where the disconnect comes with some of the younger players.
Right. What hit me with a couple or a few things you wrote down that you either liked or loathed from the presser.
I want to go with things I liked first because I feel like I am negative a lot. So him saying the D-Corps is set, love that. That is a big thumbs up because I felt like he's done a lot of work on the D. Mm-hmm. And now, especially, I mean, in no particular order, Faber, Spurgeon, Brodeen, Middleton, Buyam, Juracek. To me, that's a solid 6 defenseman. So I love that.
Yesterday when Taka was here, when and I'm riding my vibes. Doesn't mean they're right. But they play Faber so much, man. Yep. I mean, he plays so much that I'm not one to like worry about what life's going to be like in 3, 4, or 5 years. Shoot, I'm just trying to get through today. But I mean, at this pace, man, they're going to wear him down to a nub. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. If they play, Booyam has similar capabilities, even potentially more offensive capabilities. Although Brock Faber, debatably, was one of our best players this series. Unbelievable.
Absolutely, it was.
If he can take off a little of the offensive, the quarterbacking, the power play load, if he can take off some of the offensive defenseman load,
there you go.
I think that would be the best thing for him. I think, if he went to the Gophers, I think Pat would be parading for him to play more minutes right now, but he went to Denver. So
give what's another one? Hit me with another one from your Tolstoy.
I like that he mentioned, it's along the same vein, but it's same tree, different branch, but the fact that they want to focus on forwards and potentially a scoring winger. God forbid, that's something that I've been hounding on forever, and centers as well, because he's right. Eriksson does have a lot of big face-offs. He can't win all of those. He can't go toe-to-toe every single shift, and I think that's part of the reason he may get injured. So I love what he said about what he wants to build, where he wants to build, and with what type of players he wants to build in that forward group. I thought that was a tremendous win, and I couldn't agree more.
Is Panthers centerman Sam Bennett a realistic option?
Is it realistic? I don't know. I'll tell you this. If he is, that's a Guerin guy.
Yeah. He's super tough.
He's super tough,
scrappy,
but he's got skill. And I think that's something. We've got tough guys. We've got guys that can, throw bodies with the best of them. I wouldn't put them in the same universe as the skill that some of those Panthers guys, like a Kachuk, like a Bennett, like they have.
Let's finish the show in the final segment with more Wild-related talkbacks on your home for Minnesota Wild hockey.
Hey, friend, I know how this feels. Waking up exhausted after multiple trips to the bathroom and feeling embarrassed by sudden leaks. I used to be constantly on edge, searching for a restroom whenever I was out. Then I discovered Better Woman. I was skeptical at first, but 2 months in, everything changed. I experienced improved bladder control, no more heart-stopping moments when I laugh or sneeze, less urge to go, deeper and more restful sleep. I finally felt like myself again, confident and in control. Better Woman is natural, effective, clinically tested, and trusted by women for over 25 years. Ready to take back your control? Head over to BeBetterNow.com to order your supply today. That's BeBetterNow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed. Individual results may vary.
KFAN.
As you just heard, Game 1 of the second round tips off tonight, and what a better way to watch it with Carboni's Pizza. Visit one of their 30-plus locations to enjoy delicious pizza and get ready for the Minnesota playoff run. Find your nearest Carboni's today at carbonispizza.com.
All right, let's bring it on home.
Hi, Mr. Allen. How are you doing today?
Having a good day, thank you.
It's time to drop the puck!
On the remaining talkbacks off the Wild post-mortem presser, and we begin like this.
Let's go with a little optimism here.
Hey, PA, this is Marco from Prior Lake, just calling in. I'm feeling good about the Wild. Reminds me a lot of the Timberwolves in 2023 losing to eventual champions Denver Nuggets. I believe Vegas is going to make a big run this year, and we played really well against them. We got young guys coming up. Our stars will be coming back. The future is looking bright. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Marco, my man.
Let's play hockey!
Next.
I just want to say, I hope Marco Rossi lives in Prior Lake from that talkback. That would be great. That was Marco. Let's go here.
Hey, PA. We just went toe-to-toe with one of the Cup favorites.
Yeah.
They just won a Cup a couple years ago. We weren't that far off. A couple overtime games that could have went our way. The stupid offsides. We're right there, man. Billy's got some room to make some moves. Let's go.
It's time to drop the puck!
And finally, hit us with one more.
Gentlemen, Brian from St. Paul.
Ryan?
I have total confidence in the GM, Billy G. He's got more money to work with this year after the mistakes of the past are off the books. And it's go Wild all the way to the Western Conference Finals, and then let's play.
We dig that.
You gotta be, baby! at me.
Just like
Little hoop action.
we're going to enjoy some hoop action on KFAN tonight. Alan Horton and Jim Peterson on the call shortly after 8:30. It is game one of the second round series against Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and the Golden State Warriors. Thank you very much for listening to a Talker Tuesday. For fill-in producer Brett Blakemore, I'm Paul Allen. Dan Call the Common Man is next with the program on your favorite radio station, FM 100.3, KFAN. Bye.
It's a covenant cleanup.
Temporary layoffs. Good times. Yeah! Good times.
Scratching
and surviving. Good times. Good times. We lucky we got 'em.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Hey, friend, I know how this feels. Waking up exhausted after multiple trips to the bathroom and feeling embarrassed by sudden leaks. I used to be constantly on edge, searching for a restroom whenever I was out. Then I discovered Better Woman. I was skeptical at first, but 2 months in, everything changed. I experienced improved bladder control, no more heart-stopping moments when I laugh or sneeze, less urge to go, deeper and more restful sleep. I finally felt like myself again, confident and in control. Better Woman is natural, effective, clinically tested, and trusted by women for over 25 years. Ready to take back your control? Head over to BeBetterNow.com to order your supply today. That's BeBetterNow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed. Individual results may vary.